Hey everybody, today we are going to be beginning Module 8 with Lesson 8.1 on page 435 in your workbooks. We are talking about area of parallelograms. On page 436, we learned that a parallelogram is a quadrilateral with opposite sides that are parallel and have the same length. Area is the measure of the interior surface of a two-dimensional figure. So it's the space inside of a polygon and is measured in square units. Now, what we can do with a parallelogram to find area and to relate how parallelograms and rectangles are related is what we can do is we can cut off a triangle, draw a line from the highest point to the base, right? And basically make a triangle. Now, if I were to cut this triangle off and slide it on over, it would fit right at the end of the parallelogram. So parallelograms and rectangles that have a base that is the same length and a height that is the same length will have the same area. Now, to find the area then, we would then count the base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the height, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 times 5 is 50. So the area of this rectangle or this parallelogram would be 50 square units. Remember, they have the same area, even though they're different shapes, because we didn't add anything or take anything away. We simply decomposed the parallelogram, meaning cut it off, right? Cut off a part of it and slid it over to the other side, rearranging. Okay. Now, when we talk about base and height of parallelograms, a base is any one side. It could be any side of the parallelogram. The height is then measured perpendicular from the base, meaning makes it a right angle, to the highest point of that shape. The formula that we would use to find area is then area equals the base times the height. So let's take a look at example 1. Ramilla is painting a replica of the national flag of Trinidad and Tobago for a research project. If we wanted to find the area of the black stripe, we would take a base, which is 6 3/4 inches, and we would multiply by the height, which is 30. Now we can take the height from any point as long as it's perpendicular to the base. So we have to actually take the height of the shape from the outside of it in order to then calculate. So now we actually find the area. We simply multiply 6 3/4 times 30. Well, we can change this to an improper fraction. We would get 27/4 times 30 over 1. Then multiply straight across. 27 times 30. We can actually use a calculator for that if you so choose. 27 times 30 equals 810. And then we would divide by 4. So we would get 202.5, which is the same as 202 1/2. So even when you calculate using a calculator and you get a decimal answer, if the question is in a fraction format, I would appreciate it in a fraction answer. Now don't forget to label, making sure to put square inches here. All right, so let's take a look at the next problem here. We have find the area of this parking space. Our base is 9 1/4, and our height is 18. Go ahead, pause the video here, and solve. Now, if we were to actually do this, 9 times 4 is 36, plus 1 is 37 over 4 times 18 over 1. We can then do 37 times 18, which is 666 over 4. Then we divide by 4 to get 166.5, which is the same as 1/2. Label it feet squared. Hopefully you're able to get that answer as well. All right, so moving along here, let's take a look at example 2. What happens if we have a missing dimension? So we have the area and we know the base or the height, but we're missing one of the other numbers. So what we do here is we work backwards. You can actually plug it in to a formula or an equation and solve that equation. We know that area is 45. We know that the base is 9. We're missing the height. So instead of multiplying like we do to find area, we're going to work backwards by doing the opposite, which is dividing. We're going to take 45 divided by 9. When you do that, you find that 5 is the height. So the height of the parallelogram is 5 inches. Notice we do not mark this with inches squared because it is a linear measurement. It should only be inches. You don't measure your height in inches squared or feet squared, so that's why we don't do that here. All right, let's go ahead and try the same thing here. Pause the video, see if you can solve. So with this problem, we have 96, 8 is our height, and B is the base. We're missing the base. To get the base all by itself, we divide on both sides. We would then find that the base would equal 12. So the base is 12 yards. All right, our last problem here, we have a landscaping problem for our apply. Because Andy is a city horticulturist and is developing a new park over an old city lot. The center of the park features a koi pond that will cover 1,245 square feet. The remaining space will need to be covered with grass seed. If a 50-pound bag of grass seed covers 7,500 square feet, how many bags of grass seed will Andy need to buy to seed the rest of the park? So there's several steps that we would need to use to solve this problem. The first is to find the area of the park. So to do that, we would multiply our dimensions. 108 times 150 to find the area. The next thing that we would do is subtract the area of the koi pond. So I'm going to take the area minus 1,245 to get something. The next step would be to divide by 7,500 to find out how many bags of grass seed we would need. Okay, I'm just going to put X here. Say X divided by 7,500 equals, I'm going to say bags. And then the final step here would be to multiply the number of bags by the cost. So we would then multiply, oops, I'm sorry, I guess we don't need to do costs. I'm going too far. So we would just end at the number of bags. Sorry, I was thinking of another problem. So this is kind of how we would go ahead and solve this problem here. So what I would like you to do here, as always with your apply problem, give it a try, email me the answer to show me that you figured it out, and we will go from there. All right. Please complete your homework online, and if you have any questions, as always, please let me know, and we will see you later.